Welcome to FitBody Lifestyle, the show where we dive deep into the world of fitness, health, business, relationships, and the art of living a balanced life. I'm Jamie.
And I'm Greg, and we're here to give you the benefit of our experiences in the fitness and bodybuilding industry, the corporate world, running a business, personal development, and building healthy relationships.
Whether you're sweating it out in the gym, hustling in your business, or seeking balance in your everyday life, you're in the right place.
So lace up those sneakers and grab that water bottle, and let's get ready to transform our minds, our bodies, and our lives.
We are so excited to announce the 2025 FitBody Fusion Athlete Summit happening in Phoenix, Arizona on Saturday, February the 8th.
This is your chance to learn from the best in the industry, get hands-on posing critiques, and network with fellow athletes.
You'll hear from top pro athletes and get expert advice on everything to get you competition ready and recovered post-show.
Don't miss this opportunity to work one-on-one with FitBody Fusion coaches and even take home some awesome goodies and giveaways while you're at it.
Everyone is welcome, so register now at fitbodyfusion.com and join us on February 8th in Phoenix, Arizona.
Can't wait to see you.
Welcome back to another FitBody Lifestyle Fusion hack where we're trying to figure out who's introducing the episode.
Is that the title of this episode?
That's not.
Who introduces the episode? 3 tips to deciding who introduces the episode.
That's right. So we have the lovely Miss Erin Kamm here with us. And if you haven't seen some of our longer episodes with Erin, definitely watch them. We talk a lot about relationship with food, gut, all kinds of really, really important and interesting topics. So today we're going to give 3 tips for creating mindfulness and avoiding or managing triggers that may come up for you. So Erin, what's kind of our first tip that you have for our listeners today?
The first one is to check in with yourself. What is going on in that moment that is causing the trigger, that's, sparking like what you're experiencing, whether that be reverting back to old food behaviors, emotions, what is causing that emotion, and checking in with yourself to see like where is that appearing in your body? What are you experiencing as a result of that? And just working, to manage those symptoms and address those symptoms first, and then mitigating those symptoms. So doing something for yourself to work through them. So if you're having a trigger, whether that be going for a walk or calling a friend or going to therapy or journaling, really working to identify like the root cause of what it is that you're experiencing.
I think, and can I just tweak that just a little bit? And that I think what you said is accurate. The first thing is, and at least in my mind, is what am I feeling right now in this moment? Am I feeling tension somewhere? Am I not breathing as regularly? Am I distracted? Am I tense? Am I whatever? Is that I think that, to me at least, the predicate for that with the check-in is, what am I feeling right now that I need to then dig deeper on? Would you, and I don't know if that, is that a fair
absolutely.
tweak? Okay.
Yeah. And that does require you to, something that I'm not good at, slow down and really acknowledge what it is that is going on. Because again, like you said, your body's trying to tell you something. There's something going on that is causing you to feel the way that you are.
What's number 2?
Number 2 is working through the trigger. So doing things for yourself that like regulate your nervous system, can get you, again, working through those things. Again, this is where like the journaling or, I think the journaling is important because it allows you to kind of like start to identify like the triggers too, the root causes of them. And that way you can kind of get it on paper. And once you work to like identify them, then you can see, okay, what do I need to do to like work through these, doing things that fill your cup. Setting boundaries is another big one. To also kind of help you prevent the triggers from coming up in the future.
I think that as we went back to kind of the little tweak on that first thing about checking in with yourself, is I think it's really important to journal what you felt in that moment. I was feeling, and for example, this past couple of weeks, I've been feeling a lot of tension in my jaw, which I don't notice unless I actually check in with myself and say, okay, I'm feeling some tension here. And then I'll write down, I'm feeling tension in my jaw right now, and here's what I'm feeling or what I'm working through at this moment. Just that moment of awareness helps me then process that trigger a little bit easier.
I really like the setting boundaries too.
Yeah.
The setting boundaries, because like if you already know something's going to trigger you, then setting a boundary for that is a great, whether it's a person, place, or thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. And I mean, that's the thing too, is like what is going on in that moment that's causing it, or what's going on in your life that's causing it, not just in your body, but outside, like what's going on in your environment that possibly can be contributing as well.
And I do think one other thing that we can add in the working through the trigger is, okay, therapy is great. If you can talk to your therapist, that's awesome. If you can't, having that trusted advisor, my baby here, to just go out and
Unless
say,
I am the trigger.
unless you are the trigger, which you're never the trigger. You're always the answer.
Wow.
But just coming out and talking to you and saying, hey, honey, this is what I'm feeling, or calling up a friend, Erin, if I call you up, and I've done that, where, hey, I'm hosting something at this point, and help me talk through that. That can help a lot.
Yeah. The other thing that I do is if something comes up for me and I like am close to a therapy session, or, I can't get in right away, is I actually have a whole note in my phone that's titled therapy, and I can jot it down in there. So that's something that I remember I need to talk through this when I am in therapy too.
Do you pull up the phone and go through that list with your therapist?
Sure do.
That's awesome. I
love that because
that's
that's really very similar too to what we a lot of times will tell our athletes. It's like if things come up during the week and it's not your check-in day, I tell them keep a note and like just jot it down so that when check-in day comes, you remember, because it could be something I can help.
Yeah.
Or we can help as coaches, the person like walk through.
You think about the irony of that. People prepare I-do lists all the time, and task lists and to-do, and get this and that. But how often do we actually take inventory of those emotions or those thoughts that we're having or those triggers, and then make sure that we come back to those things? Because in that moment, you may be in a meeting, in a corporate meeting, and okay, I can't go out and call my therapist right now. I got to get through this meeting. But just taking down that simple note, I'm in the meeting, such and such is talking, and as they're talking, I'm really getting irritated with them for this, for whatever. I need to talk about this later. Writing that note to yourself can really help you process it later on, because that symptom that you're experiencing is not just limited to that minute. That it's something that's probably a deeper issue that if you need to take some time to uncover it.
Well, I was about to say too, what it's done for me is I see trends.
Yeah.
So even though one event might come up, it will manifest in other ways throughout the week. And obviously, and I make this joke a lot, but I'm like, I can't remember what I did yesterday, let alone like 6 days ago. So in between sessions, if I think of something and then 3 days later, I'm like, oh shoot, I'm having like this happen again in a different form, it just helps me to make sure I'm addressing it, because it's clearly something that like my brain or my body is continuing to like process in some way.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what is number 3?
Mitigating moving forward. So like how, if these triggers come up in the future, like what are you going to do to prevent them, or even like not necessarily even prevent, but like lessen like their impact on you? So what changes do you need to make, whether that be in your schedule or boundary, like we said, in your boundaries, or, actions that you're doing to help prevent these from coming up, or that you help you process them to be able to work through them. So go ahead.
I was just going to say that is essential to forming a new habit, is identifying what you're doing. When this happened, this is what I did, and this is what I will do going forward. That is essential to the formation of a new habit.
Yeah.
I love that.
Because otherwise, if it keeps coming up and you're not doing anything to change it, you're just going to have to keep dealing with it, just in different forms, like I said. So it's really identifying, like, what can I do differently? What changes do I need to make? Or what conversations do I need to have if it is something that, like, a person is doing, and we love a good confrontation. But, is what do you need to do to be able to, like, communicate your needs or your boundaries, or, what do you need to be able to, like, not have to keep having the impact of the triggers be felt so hard.
And I love going through the what can you do. I also love the affirmation of the what will you do after you've gone through the cans. The I will statement of I will do this, or I will journal next time. I will call up a trusted friend. That action item of what you will do is essential to the new habit.
Yeah. And I do think, like, in this entire process, it's also important, like, give yourself grace. Like, you're not going to always, like, even if you say I will do this, that doesn't mean every time you're going to switch that habit, because it's going to take time for you to build that new habit. So I think giving yourself grace, recognizing, hey, like, honoring how you're feeling, working to process it, and knowing, like, it's not going to be perfect every time moving forward.
Right. And it's always a learning experience. I feel like we're always learning about ourselves. So, I'd love that you say give yourself grace, because there is no perfect version of this. So,
And takes about 6 months to form a new habit. So if you're doing this the first time and you're expecting it to just to lay a foundation that first time. It takes repetition to get you into that habit.
And it doesn't necessarily feel good at first.
No,
either.
it doesn't. Those are 3 great tips, Miss Erin. So we have check in with yourself is step 1. Step 2 is working through the trigger. And one of the things that we talked about there that I really like, and I just want to foot stomp that, is write the note to yourself, and so that you make sure you come back to it if you don't have the time to deal with it in that moment.
And you look for the trends.
Right, and look for the trends. I like that too. And then the last one was mitigate moving forward, which is to talk about what that new habit's going to be, and to form that belief and that I will statement about what you will do the next time this happens.
Yeah.
Because we can't control the triggers, but we can manage them better. Awesome.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay,
That was awesome.
that was really good. We can drop the mic on this, and everybody remember to like, comment, subscribe, leave your reviews, and remember the 3 B's, which is be good to yourself
Be good to each other.
and be safe. Take care, everybody.
Thank you for tuning in to FitBody Lifestyle. We hope today's episode has left you feeling motivated and equipped to tackle your fitness goals, business challenges, and the daily dance of life. Remember to value progress over perfection. Life's tough enough alone. Find the chosen family around you to help you along the way.
If you enjoyed today's episode, we'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe and leave us a review on your favorite streaming platform. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at FitBody Fusion.